Have you ever had an experience that you wanted to explain to somebody, but you just couldn't quite get the words out? You had a thought that was streamlined in your head and you go to say it and it just comes out as bleh. Have you ever been telling a story or trying to explain something and there's one word that would describe it perfectly, but you can't quite grab that word and it's just gone? I know this has happened to me a lot, and I've recognized that, or I've learned, I should say, that we in our brain, there are neurons that connect and create new pathways when we learn things, when we reflect on things, when we introspect, when we take an experience and talk about it with others. So, the purpose of me doing this Mirrors podcast, it's called Mirrors, is to encourage reflection. I think in life, we have so many experiences and moments and days and weeks that just pass us by. And rather than just having it pass us by, what I want to do, I want us to stop and think about and reflect on our experiences that we've had, things we've done, books we've read, thoughts we've listened to, other podcasts we've heard, to allow those things to really sink into our brain and to really get something out of it versus just doing something, letting it pass by, and it not really making much of a difference in our lives. So the podcast here, the purpose for it is to encourage reflection and to facilitate this conversation with others to hear their side of the story. Now, it's called Mirrors. Why is it called Mirrors? Well, mirrors reflect. It's what they do best, right? It's what they're for. Mirrors reflect. But mirrors also show things at different angles. So picture yourself getting a haircut and you got the barber kind of shows you what they did. You can see it at a different angle and you're like, oh, that's nice. Do that again. It's great. I'm coming back here. Right? Or you get an outfit in a store and you go to the dressing room and you get one of those dressing rooms, my favorite anyways, that has like the 5 mirrors and they kind of go all around. You can see like all the angles. So it allows you to see things at different angles. Mirrors also, you can go really close up and see that little pesty face blemish that probably only you notice, but you think that everybody else can see it, but you're just so close up and you notice it. Or, you want to see the whole image, a whole family picture. Or have you ever been to the Bean in Chicago? You see the reflection off of that thing. It shows a huge picture. So mirrors also can be used further back to see a better picture of your surroundings. Mirrors also, and I think this is maybe when it gets a little deeper, and hopefully we have moments where we go deeper in this podcast. But mirrors do a really, really phenomenal job of reflecting light. Now that sounds obvious, but when you think about it, again, when you reflect on it, it's actually kind of a really, really cool thing. That mirrors reflect light significantly. You know what they don't do well, or at least you don't notice it? Reflect darkness. And what we want to do, we want to grow, we want to reflect the good, we want to reflect life and light. And we want to create these neural pathways in the brain to be not only smarter people, but more reflective people, people that understand and are aware of what's happening to them, what's happening around them, and to be able to verbalize it, to share this with others, so it makes themselves more aware as well as other people more aware too. I, for one, want to be better at having conversations and asking good questions. And so I think this podcast will facilitate not only that for myself, but for others as well. So mirrors, if you see the logo, it's a very inspirational day when I came up with it, is the letter M, especially the style, the format I used, has a very big M with almost some jaggedy edges, if you will. M obviously stands for mirrors, but there's that line that goes in between it. And M is a symmetrical, there we go, symmetrical letter. So when you put that line through it, it almost looks like the M is reflecting on itself. And the podcast is all about reflection, so incredible. The other thing with the M is that it creates almost these peaks. And I'm a nature guy. I love mountains. It's one of my favorite things in nature. And these peaks are an awesome reminder of when we're talking, when we're reflecting, the goal is to climb up, is to get smarter, to get better, to strive for greatness, right? To go higher and climb that mountain to do better and better and better. and to grow and grow and grow. Maybe that's a better way to put it. The goal is to grow and grow and grow, to strive to the heights. Now, the other significance with the logo is if you include the top of the straight line and the top of the peaks of the M, if you will, it kind of creates a triangle or three high points. This is intentional as well in terms of the Trinity. So me, I'm a Catholic Christian man. Everything I do, if God's not with me, if I'm not with God, it's pointless. If he's there, something can come out of it. So when I'm doing this podcast, I need him to be a part of it, and I want to be followed and led by the Holy Spirit wherever that takes. So not every conversation is going to dive into that. This isn't a specifically Catholic Christian podcast. However, that's just kind of the roots and the significance of where it comes from. So just sharing with you guys the purpose of the logo and the name. So I think I'm really excited for it. I'm going to be the main host. I do plan on having co-hosts with me. I plan on recording episodes with my family. So my wife, my brothers, maybe my sister, and any other friends and family that decide they want to come on and have a conversation. The goal is to, all right, what the heck are we going to actually talk about? This is, I think, where it gets fun because it can be never ending. We'll try to keep the episodes, anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes probably. But the cool part about the topics is that it can be on anything. So example, we'll just do exhibit A. I can see it right behind me. I just finished reading this book, Atomic Habits, and a lot of cool things I got from it. I'm not going to spoil it because I think my younger brother also read it. And so that might be a fun conversation for us to talk about, hey, what did we get out of that book together? Maybe though somebody trained for a marathon and they ran their first one. Let's reflect on that experience. Let's hear from them how things went. What did they enjoy about it? What training program did they use? What was really the mental grind? Everybody talks about mile 18 or mile 20 towards the end where you feel good and then you hit mile 20 and then it's just all downhill from there. And you hope it's downhill literally if you're a runner, but just hearing about that experience, right? Maybe somebody listened to a different podcast the other day and got something out of it and they wanted to talk about it. Or as simple as, guys, maybe somebody stubbed their toe the other day and said, I learned this week that stubbing your toe still hurts. Just kind of having some humor behind it. But then we can dive into the science of it and just have an awesome, friendly conversation. And hopefully it's fruitful as well. I think it will be fruitful as we continue smoothing this out and having the conversations. So the main premise of this, right, like I said, it's to encourage reflection. I think the main question we'll ask and that I encourage you guys to keep thinking about in your day-to-day life is, what did I learn this week? What did I learn from X experience? What did I learn when I gave that presentation? And I think what this is also going to do, I'm thinking about this right now, I think it's going to help with humility. I think we're going to learn things about ourselves like, I wasn't as prepared as I thought. Or, man, that training was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And so that being said, one thing I think would be cool for today's initial episode is to just do this experiment, start these conversations. And obviously today I'm by myself, but I want to ask the question, Brady, what did you learn this week? What have you learned recently? And I don't think I'll go very deep today, but the thing that comes to mind is I was traveling back from a work thing and I had a short 1 hour layover in the Chicago airport, which my experience there, to be honest, is I don't like it. Everything always seems to get backed up. The foot traffic is crazy. Things never are exactly on time, it seems. And maybe that's just my luck, but it's just not my favorite place to connect through or to fly through. Well, you know what? You know what it is? Okay, two things. One thing that I've learned is that when you land at the Chicago airport, I've learned that the most annoying part for me is the taxiing time. Once you land, you kind of get that feeling like, oh, we made it, we landed, it's great. I'll catch my flight 60 minutes from now. And then you land and you're driving in the plane for like 20 minutes. And then the plane parks, and then I usually sit on like row 30. The plane parks, and then I'm standing there for another 15, 20 minutes. So like you get there, and it's another like 30, 40 minutes. But reflecting on this, now that I know that, it should help me in the future to prepare. Like, I don't need to stand up right away unless I need to stretch my legs, right? I can be mentally prepared that when I'm there, I'm not actually there yet, to just settle down a little bit. Okay, but this last time I went, this is the other thing. I got there, actually had a decently faster, smoother time through the terminal, if you will, to get to my connecting flight. And I get there, and your flight's delayed by 25 minutes. I can do that. Well, let me go to the bathroom quick, and I'll come back and just wait it out. 25 minutes goes by. Your flight's actually going to be delayed for another hour. It's like, oh, okay. I'm gonna go get some food, but I'm not gonna do a sit down place because I the lines, and I don't want to wait too long and miss something. It'd be stupid on delay. So I go and do that, and it happened to be one of the NBA Finals games on that night. So watching the NBA Finals a little bit, eating some food, go back to the gate. Your flight's delayed another hour. Shoot. Well, I was going to be home at 10:30 p.m. Now it's going to be about 1. All right, well, might as well do this or that. And I'm starting to get tired. I've been asleep by like 9 or 10 o'clock the last couple nights, so definitely past my bedtime at this point. And then what happens? Flight's delayed another hour, hour and a half. Ended up being a 4-hour delay, and just re-emphasized how much I, don't have good experiences in that airport. And I was thinking about this, and the issue isn't that it was a 4-hour delay. It was that it was like 4 or 5, 30 to 60 minute delays. I personally, reflecting on this, would have been a lot more grateful if it was like, your flight's delayed 4 hours. Go do whatever and come back. It's going to be fine. Versus having to stick around, not wanting to go too far, getting a quick bite to eat instead of a sit-down restaurant, and just being like constantly like, just how irritating it is little by little by little. Then I understand, right? Because things are out of people's control a lot, especially at a big airport like that. And we weren't the only flight with delays, but it definitely got to me a little bit by the end of it. It's like, just tell me. It's almost like when something's buffering or loading and it says 100%, but it's not working yet. If it's not working, it's not 100%. At best, it's 99%. So like, don't give me this false advertising. So just not a fan of that by any means. Learning that about myself. So yeah, not much to share this week, but just one example of what I've learned this week. So I guess the conclusion to that is I should try to avoid that airport because I don't have great experiences with it. Or I should have the mental fortitude to be ready for that experience. I guess last thing, this came to my mind again. There's a study, I think it was London. I don't know, but they did a study with like subway trains and people waiting for the tram or the subway trains. And they found out that when people were waiting, even if it was like a 1 or 2 minute wait, like irritation and violence on the subway platforms was super high until they did what? They added time to arrival for the trains. Now people would be waiting 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, even longer, but they knew how much time they had to wait. And so they were like more at peace because they understood like, oh, this is when it's coming down. So it's just fascinating how we work, how you can persevere through something 2, 3, 4 times longer if you know when the finish line is. But if you don't know when the finish line is and you're going through something grueling, that can be really tough. So I guess, you know what? Let's flip this one notch deeper. So in your life right now, if you're going through something that's difficult and you can't see the finish line, I feel for you. Because when you don't know when it's going to be over, it's a lot more difficult. If you do a workout and you put a timer on, you know you got 1 minute left, you can go hard. If you're just going until the coach blows his whistle, you're not sure if I sprint my hardest here, if I have 20 more minutes, how am I going to make it? So if that's you in your life, my encouragement is to persevere, to know that every season of desolation, every season of hardship, every season of even minor hardship, like a plane being delayed, will eventually be over and you'll get there. Similarly, every season of consolation, every season of good things, it eventually comes to a close. But not in a close in a negative way all the time, just maybe that peak, that high closes. So what we want to do, and I guess this might come full circle here in this podcast, is we want to capture those high moments. We want to capture those experiences, and we want to reflect on them. We want to learn from them, and we want to be grateful for them. Say, I'm so glad I had that experience. I'm not sad because it's over. I'm happy because it happened, and I'm just feeling blessed to have the experience that maybe not everybody gets to have. So again, we're blessed to live in a time right now where we can do things like this and have this podcast and learn from each other. So we're going to call it today. That's going to be it for Mirrors for this week's episode. I'm excited to get more people on to have deeper conversations as well. I know that in the podcast world and in most things, episode 1 is not seen and viewed by a lot of people. So that's A-okay. We're only going to grow and grow and grow from here. I'm grateful to have you guys on board, and I hope that this can be a fruitful endeavor for you guys to join on.